just trying to say hello to my boyfriend. It's like, hi.
Oh, is this for Ronnie?
Yeah.
Reginald, hi. How are you? Oh, that does not look like my face. I don't look like this, but hi.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome to the show, guys. This is The Sessions. I know how to crush an intro. Here with my girl, Saraya.
It's me.
How nice to just say Saraya. So I know you've obviously been saying that on Twitch and everything, but now it's like the official. It's out there. That's it.
Dude, do you know what's really weird? Is that Lizzie and I were just in the mall the other day because I was trying to find a new Dyson hair dryer because my boyfriend thinks he needs it for tour to have a good blowout, I guess.
Wait, are we talking the air wrap here?
The blowout one where it's like you put the thing.
I think that's the air wrap.
Not the actual wrap where it curls it, but like where it like, gives it
a little volume.
Yeah.
I just started using one of those, and let me tell you, I think Ronnie's right. He does need it on tour because I use one every day.
Don't encourage him. I was like, I need my blow dryer. He's like, no, you don't. My hair's more important. But I was like, all right. Even though I bought him one for Christmas. I literally bought him one for Christmas, and he was just like, I'm never going to need this. Like, I'm
impressed
a dude.
He blow dries his hair. Good for him.
Oh, he loves it. He likes to take care of himself. I love it.
Get that flow out there.
We were at the mall, and then someone was like, Saraya? And I'm like, I'm so used to people calling me Paige that I thought, do I know this person personally? So I'm just like, I'm sorry, do I know you from somewhere?
Yeah.
And he was just like, no, can I have a picture? And I was like, oh, you're a fan.
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense. So but I like try to play off because I felt really stupid that I was like, do I know you? Like, so I was just like, you just have like a really familiar face. Like, I don't know what it is. It's just your face is very familiar. And I'm like, nice to meet you though. I just like, I was very like startled. I was just like, Saraya. I'm like,
that happened.
Me?
So yesterday I was at the signing and I wrapped up doing the interview with Brian. I walk out and there's this like flaming redhead dude at the bar getting a beer. He turns around and goes, Renee! I thought it was Heath. It looked like Heath with like a mustache.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh my God, hi. And I was like, are you guys having fun this weekend? I realized it wasn't
having a
him.
full-on conversation.
And then it was a fan that I was like, oh, I thought you were a friend of mine. I did not tell him that, but yeah, like gave me pause.
It's just like, Heath, what's up, buddy?
I was like seconds away from like embracing this man.
Yeah.
Anyways, he was like a chubby, mustachioed Heath.
What were you gonna say? Yeah, he was like this chubby redhead. So I was just like, must be Heath, right?
No.
He's just like watching this back, like one tear rolling down his face. He's just like, what?
Okay, so you're with your name. How hard is it, or like what is it like going through like being Paige for so long, the branding of that, the logo of that, all of those things to like really getting people on the like it's Saraya. It's Saraya. Call me Saraya.
Dude,
it's Saraya, y'all.
I still feel like it's weird. I'm just like, it feels weird because I've never been called Saraya in my wrestling career because even before that, my dad named me Brittany Knight. Don't even get me started with that name, dude. It's so awful. But that was my name, and then it obviously got switched to Paige, which was my. Like, I picked that name, first of all. So, WWE, you should let me keep it since I'm the one who came up with this bad boy. But
right?
Anyway.
Again, the things that you get in the divorce.
I know, exactly. I'm like,
the name.
fine. It should have been like a Tina Turner thing. I'm like, I get to keep the name, keep everything else. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's really strange. So I started getting people used to call me Saraya on Twitch anyway because I wanted to branch out more as Saraya than just be known as Paige the wrestler.
Yeah.
So I wanted to start building my brand and stuff like that anyway. So Twitch was already used to call me Ray, whatever. But just it's so weird just having people on the street call me it. It's like fine on the internet, and then when you see someone in person, you're just like, ugh, like it gives me the creeps.
My government name.
How dare you? That is my birth name.
What's happening over here?
Yeah, my mom, successfully found that name through an acid trip. So I
know you've told the story, but you can elaborate on it here.
I love telling the story. I'll tell it all the time. So everyone's always just like, Saraya, like that's so exotic. Like, where did you get that from? And I'm just like, oh man, really good story. So my mom was tripping on acid at a Slayer concert, and she misheard Slayer for Saraya, and that's how I got my name. But the lead singer's last name is also Araya, so I'm just like, that's probably how you got confused.
Oh, yeah. I mean, listen, a lot of things could probably happen in an acid trip, and it all kind of blends into one. And
yeah, that's
now
the one
you're here.
Good thing, though. There you go. Look at me.
And now she's here. Yeah. How are you feeling right now? To be like, God, what, a decade with WWE?
Yeah, dude.
You were such a baby being signed there. You were 18? 19?
Yeah, I'm about to be freaking 30, dude.
Yeah, you are.
In like a couple of weeks.
I know.
Oh, dude, it's really weird.
Yeah, no, that's actually, it's funny when I kept seeing Ronnie send you all the photos. I looked on my phone. I was like, is it her birthday today? It gave me, I was like, no, she's in August. Okay, great. Yeah. But yeah, to be with WWE from being a child, growing up in that business, that's all you've really known for the last however long. And now you're not doing that. How are we feeling?
So honestly, like they told me, obviously Johnny had called me and was just like, it was really chill. Like we left on like, we parted on good terms, which is really good. Because, you know, a lot of people get bitter or whatever, but I'm just like, I'm really appreciative of the journey I had, dude, because I wouldn't be where I am without them. So I'm really thankful.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a super weird feeling at first, and I kind of like got my boo-hoos out the way in the first couple of days. And then a couple of weeks later or a month or so later when the actual like day came, I was like, I remember you text me and I was just like, to be honest, I don't really feel anything. Like I'm good. And then like friggin' a couple of hours down, like, you know, into the day, I get like a little video from all my friends, including her face too. And I'm like, I had like a mental breakdown. I was like, oh my God. I'm like, it was more like just happy tears. But
who was
also
on
I'm just
that
like,
video?
well, what the
Was on that?
there was Natty, Our Truth was on there too.
Ronnie's on there.
The Bellas. No, Ronnie wasn't on there. So they wanted
Ronnie, Our Truth.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Ronnie's, my boyfriend's Ronnie. Ronnie also Our Truth. Yeah. But two different.
A lot of Ronnies.
Yeah. A lot of
Who knew we knew that many Ronnies?
Yeah, I know. Now they're just
Ronnie's
being
strong.
overrun by them. But yeah, dude, it feels so friggin'. It feels good now. I was a little nervous too because I feel like once you leave WWE, you don't have like that check every week. So you're like, well, now I have to work. Like I like sitting at home just getting a paycheck. Thank you very much.
I saw a meme that was like somebody being like, how do I make money? And then tears. I have to work.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
That's literally it.
All right.
Oh, look, now I have to like socialize. And I've had like years now of like not doing signings because WWE didn't use me. So then like having my first signing this weekend for StarCast, I had like so much anxiety. I had to bring my emotional support human, Lizzie, with me. I was like, I need someone.
You can take Benny with you if you want. He's all right.
Please. I wish I could bring like a lobster. Yeah. That would be a dream, but damn it, he's a pit bull and people are just so mad about pit bulls for some reason.
Haters.
But yeah, like it's like I had a lot of anxiety. I'm just like bloody hell. And then I land, there's fans in the freaking airport as soon as we land. And they're all like really sweet, but I'm not used to seeing fans anymore.
It's a trip when you're not used to that. You're like, whoa, I wasn't ready for that coming off the plane.
Yeah, dude. You get so used to it with WWE, just constantly seeing them all the time. And then you have COVID hit and then not being used. And then all of a sudden you're like, bam, there's just people everywhere. You get to the hotel, there's fans there and like wrestlers too. And you're like, God, I like have to speak to all these people.
I was at TV Hotel the other day and same thing. I was like, oh yeah, God, I forgot what this is like.
Yeah.
And it's not as bad as it used to be.
Yeah.
I feel like it used to be a lot crazier.
Yeah, I have to go to TV Hotel later to do this other interview thing.
Oh, they'll be there. Get ready.
Hopefully they've all, like everyone's like dispersed.
Oh, actually, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, because SummerSlam was yesterday. It might not be too bad. Yeah. And it's a Sunday. Everyone go home.
Yeah, go take a hike. Then.
Go home. Okay, so now there's like this freedom. What are you going to do with it?
Man,
like, I know it's like a loaded question of like, yeah, like there is, I mean, obviously there's a ton of opportunities. I've said it a million different times, a million different ways that you're so talented. You're very special. You're a very special person. I know it's like, is it awkward saying that to someone's face?
Dude, I'm so awkward with compliments anyway. I'm just like, oh my God, thank you. And
shut up, I am not.
Dying. I'm like, oh my God, you better stop it right now.
But it's like finding what that thing is, and it's so weird, I think, coming from like the wrestling world, being known as being a wrestler. You have a movie made about you.
Yeah, man.
It's like there's all of these things. It's like, now what do we do with this to like find the next thing?
Dude, I don't even know at this point. I'm so like we have a whole team now, which is really good. Which you know share Meech and stuff with.
Shout out to Meech.
But yeah, we're like right now we're putting a book together, so I'm really excited about that. I haven't told anyone about the book yet. But
did I plant the seed of the book?
Maybe you could have.
I feel like you have so many stories to tell.
Dude, I'm like a cat. I have 9 lives. Because like, I mean, a lot of people haven't been through what I've been through, dude.
Yeah,
and it's
I know.
Freaking crazy. And like I try like people who don't know me, if I tell them like even like parts of like
snippet.
Yeah, they're just like, are you okay? Like I'm like, I don't think so, bro.
We're holding on.
Yeah, I'm like by a thread, dude. But yeah, I'm like now I'm like I'm glad I went through all that early, because imagine having like a midlife crisis. Oh my, I guess that's around the corner soon anyway. Let's see how that
Maybe
goes.
you dodge it because you did. I mean, you went through so much stuff so early.
Yeah.
I mean, even when you think about being as young as you were, moving to a brand new country, away from your family, figuring your shit out, like that alone rocks people's worlds.
Yeah.
What was that even like? Like getting your own apartment for the first time? And you're really close with your family too. So it's not like you're like deuces. Like you guys are all really tight.
Well, actually, when I did live there, I was already fiercely independent anyway. So like my mom and dad had a pub, and I lived above the pub by myself.
Oh my God.
So I just like, I loved being by myself, and I would always travel by myself.
Yeah.
But it's different traveling and then getting to come back home rather than moving to a completely
Have your mom's
country.
meals.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. Dude, it is so bizarre. So when I first came over here, I was so scared, but I was also really young, and I didn't know anything about like renters insurance. I didn't know how to get my social security. I didn't even know how to open up a bank account, because when WWE signed you back then, it was like, okay, we signed you, you know, we got the visa, now
go do all
America.
the other things.
Yeah, and now you have to figure everything out.
Oh yeah, I cried outside of so many government buildings.
Oh God, it's so intimidating, right? And I'm just like, what do I do? And luckily, this woman called Lexi Five, she is the promoter for Shine, and she works in Shimmer and stuff like that. Luckily, I knew her from doing the indies and stuff. So she was like, you can come to my house for like 2 weeks. And I was just like,
thank God.
Oh my God, thank you so much. And she took me around. She went and got everything for me. She was like, this is what you need. This is what you need. And I'm just like, thank God she's here, because if I was by myself, I would have a mental breakdown. It was awful.
Yeah.
Because you're just so young.
It's so
you don't
overwhelming.
Know you don't learn these things at school, especially come from England, a different country. Everything's so different.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then I'm just like, wait, you have to get Social Security? Okay, like I can't get paid though until I get my Social Security.
Yeah.
So I had weeks of like not getting a check, and then they would take money out of my checks when I finally got it to replace the money for the visa too.
Oh my Lord.
So I'm just like, oh. And then, and also I had a friend from England, bless his heart, like his name was he's still alive. His name is Steve, and he inherited a bunch of money, right? So like I remember him being like, if you need money to go to America, let me know. And he gave me like $1,000, I guess it would be $8.
Oh, that's so
and
sweet.
My parents didn't have much, so I managed to save up like £200, like £200, so it'd be like $300, something like that.
Yeah.
So like I had like a decent amount to go get some cheap furniture and like go to Walmart and get like, you know, some ramen noodles and shit like that.
Yeah.
And I managed to get through a couple of weeks, and then obviously start getting the paycheck through. But still, it's really scary. I'm just like, I don't even have a car. I don't have a license. I tried to get my license twice before I got it. And actually, I took Summer Rae's car, dude. I said, Summer, can I take your car to do this driving test? And she was like, of course, you know. So I was like, great. And then I took it, and I did the whole freaking thing, like passed the actual test. And then he was like, all right, can you please pull into the parking space? We'll go get your license. And I'm like, yes. And so I pulled in, and I pressed the accelerator instead of the brake button.
No.
And like a person had to like jump out of the way. And I'm just like, first of all, I feel like he's being dramatic, but like I end up hitting like this little pole too. So like the front of the car was like dented, and I was like, oh my God. And then I like go for the guy. He was like, well, I can't like give you a license after you nearly just murdered somebody and crashed the car. So I was just like, yeah, fair enough. So I get back, and then there's Bill DeMott, and he's just like, did you pass? And I'm just like, no. And he gives it a eye roll.
What was your relationship like with Bill?
Honestly, I wasn't a big fan of Bill. I was a huge fan of Dr. Tom. Like when I first got there, it was Dr. Tom, Norman Smiley. Loved Norman Smiley. I actually have a story of him too, because when I first got there, I was like, me and Evelise were like the only ones from like the indies that had like previous wrestling experience, you know, and it was a very small group. Like FCW was really tiny, you guys. Like it was really tiny, dusty old warehouse. Like it was just like, this is WWE. Like this is like so bizarre.
We've arrived.
I was just like, really? Like this is so crazy compared to NXT now. Like, you know, when Hunter took over and made it just like this big special thing. But yeah, there was only a small group of us, like 5 girls. But like when I got there, like I felt like everyone kind of was like a little bit standoffish with me, which is absolutely fine. Like I'm new, but I was young, so I just took it personally, of course. But I was just like, I was really intimidated. And then everyone was going. I was there for a couple of months. Then Mania started coming around, Mania in Miami, and everyone got to go except for me at that time. And I was like, oh well, I've only been here for a couple of months. I understand. But then Norman called me. And because like a couple of days before I did like this wrestling match, and I guess they were like impressed by me, and I've been there for a couple months at this point already, so they got to know me a little bit more. And Norman, bless his heart, he calls me and he was just like, I was at my apartment and he was just like, I just want to let you know that when you first came here, I thought you were going to think that your shit doesn't stink because of like being on the indies. He was just like, but I just want to say that you're a really good person. And he was just like, I misjudged you. And I was like, you misjudged? Because Norman's so sweet. Yeah. You don't know that he's misjudged you in any way. You just think he's just an angel, right?
Yeah. Norman being like, who is this chick?
Yeah, but
Wait,
he was
I
like,
was wrong.
Yeah, but he was like so nice. So I never saw it from him.
Yeah.
You know, like, I'm like, I guess you can hide it very well. Or you just don't know how to be mean. Like, I don't know. But he was just like, I just want to let you know that you're going to go to WrestleMania. And I was just like, oh, this is great. So this was like a huge moment. And it was just like, really cool. So I love Norman. And then there's, Dr. Tom, Joey Mercury, Steve Kern. Oh, Ricky Steamboat was there sometime.
Yeah. Yep. He was there when I first started going down there.
Yeah. And then Dusty, of course. What an angel he was, huh?
Total angel.
Yeah, he was great. So when, like, you know, it kind of, like, got took over by Bill, it was just a whole shift in energy. Mm-hmm. Like, it was more like a army boot camp or something like that. But it was more like less learning about wrestling and more just wanting to blow us up in the ring.
Yeah.
And then when Sarah came in, like, it was kind of like at that time, we weren't split up into groups of, like, experience. So I just had to keep taking these freaking arm drags over and over again and then taking a bump and then doing these rolls. And I'm
Front
just like,
rolls, baby.
I'm just like, oh, my God, like, this is so brutal. I just want to learn new moves, you know what I mean? I want to learn to wrestle. I don't want to keep doing the same shit over and over again. I'm like, you know, I can help these girls out, whatever, but, like, I want to learn too. But it was just like the same thing over and over again, nothing new.
Was there ever times that they were trying to change your style? Because your style was like pretty, and not like drastically different from everyone else's, but you had that like, just like.
I had to tone it down a little bit and make it a little bit more girly. Like with Dr. Tom again, he like let us do whatever, and we were having like Money in the Bank matches, and like he was letting us do German suplexes, and he was just like, whatever you do, as long as you do it safely, like it's all good. And like he trusted us with it, and we had so much fun. But then when Bill came along, it was just like, no, you know, can't do that stuff. I have to do this, and it was just like it was annoying. And he wanted me to start wearing more color.
No.
Yeah. And I remember being so disappointed one day because we all got.
I guess that's what we can see in the in your movie, right? Like when it is that like.
But it was the trainer that was telling me to wear more color. Mm-hmm. So like he was constantly saying how Summer Rae was like the perfect diva and stuff like that, you know, and he was like.
Summer
Rae, and I was just like, okay, but like the reason why I got signed is because of the way I look, like not because I look like Summer, it's because I look like me, you know. Yeah. So it was the whole thing, and so, but he was like, you should try wearing more color anyway. So I remember there was a show in Tampa, and like FCW got invited, so we all went, and I wore a blue dress, and I hated it, but I wore this blue dress because I wanted to like make Bill happy, right? Mm-hmm. And so. I thought, like, you know, okay, I look like a diva. I felt good about it at the time, though, you know. I was just like, okay, I look like a diva, you know. I look more like Summer Rae. And then we get back to, you know, the center at the time, like the day after or whatever. And he was just like, I just want to give a special shout out to someone that was really trying yesterday who looks just like a diva. And then he said Summer Rae. And I was just like, like, for f***'s sake. Like, I was just like... this. I was just
get
like,
it, Summer.
Yeah, no, it has nothing to do with Summer.
No, I know. I love
like
Summer.
Summer was like fantastic, right? She looked the part and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it was just like, if I was trying and it was just like hitting a wall, you know what I mean? So in the end, I was just like, this guy. Like, I'm not going to keep on trying to impress it, especially when Dusty was telling me the opposite. And I'd rather listen to Dusty Rhodes than a Bill DeMott. You know what I mean?
Of course.
So Dusty Rhodes was just like, no, baby, you're mysterious. You know, and he was just like my raven-haired lady, you know, and I was just my porcelain princess. So I was just like, you're right. He was just like, no, them, you do you. And he was telling me that's what makes me special and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I have that, but I got frustrated with Dusty at one point. I think I told you this story before.
Yeah, we talked about that.
I called him mother in the middle of promo class. Because he was just like, I need you to be more mysterious and trying to say less but do more. And I was just like, ugh! Like, so we're like,
and those promo classes are really intense because everyone's watching you and like you get kind of randomly called. Everyone's staring daggers through you.
Dusty loved to randomly call me up all the time, dude.
Like, he randomly called me up once, and I was like, what?
You're like, what am I doing here? Yeah, it's brutal and it's intimidating and scary, but it makes you better. It really does.
Sure.
But afraid for it at the time.
Being like doing a promo in front of like an audience versus like your peers.
Exactly. You know you're getting judged by these motherfuckers. Like, I've been in your spot. I know exactly what you're thinking right now, dude.
Yeah.
So like I remember him being like telling me all this stuff, and I just got so frustrated, and I just like had like kind of a creative block, and I went up there and I just did this stupid prayer. It was bad. But like he doesn't care about embarrassing you, you know what I mean? But so he'll just be like, I asked you for chicken dinner, you give me chicken shit like that in front of everybody, and I was just like, you mother, like, you know, and I like walk off and I stomp upstairs to like the locker room. Then he comes like shortly after and he like knocks on the door. He's like, it's my porcelain princess in here. And he was like, first of all, nobody calls me a motherfucker. And I was just like, you're right. I'm so sorry, Dusty. It's just like, I'm overwhelmed. And he was just like, you know, he was just like, you just have to give 100% all the time. He was just like, you have to try every single day. Even if there's 2 people in the audience, you always give your, you know, 110%. But he's also like, I just want you to be, you know, he knew that I could be a star.
Pushing, yeah.
Yeah, and he was just like really, really pushing it, you know. He was just like, I just know you can be something special. He was just like, you just have to trust me and just, you know.
Yeah.
And he was just great. And like,
the best.
Yeah, man,
The
it was
best.
such a sad day when he passed away.
Oh my
We
God.
were filming for
Yeah.
Total Divas. And everyone just started crying. I was like, what happened? They were like, Dusty died. And I was like, no.
Yeah.
I was like devastated.
I remember, I was on a treadmill. Remember like being on a treadmill and getting like the text, and I was like, it's when moments like that happen, you can like remember exactly where you were.
Exactly.
Yeah, so horrible. Love Dusty.
I remember
love Dusty.
Dusty's funeral. It's like, I don't know wherever I want to go because funerals are hard, right?
Yeah.
Especially in America. In England, everyone's just having a great time at a funeral. It's crazy.
That
to
actually
think
sounds
about.
like a better way to do it because you should be
Yeah.
celebrating the person,
Yeah,
right?
you
Rather than
you
just
like bury them or, you know, do your thing. And then you go have this wake, but it's literally just a huge party and everyone's drinking, have a good time and like celebrating their life. Where over here it's more like mourning. Like it's really
Yeah.
sad.
Very sad, yeah.
Sad event, right?
Yeah.
So like I just remember being like, I don't know if I can handle going, especially at that age, you know. And my dad, I remember him saying to me, he was just like, if you don't go, you'll regret it.
Sure.
And I was just like, you're so right. So I ended up going.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of people there.
There was a lot
There
of
were
people.
Yeah, and it was just like hearing Cody talk about him, man.
Oh, that
yeah,
just gave me
broke you, right?
goosebumps. Ooh, yeah.
Dude, he was like, he just did such a good like eulogy, dude. I was
My
just
whole
like,
body's covered in goosebumps
yeah,
right now
it was
thinking
just
of that.
really beautiful because
Yeah.
he brought up like the broken toys thing, and Dusty used
Yes.
that before. He was just like, I love my broken toys because he loves like putting them back together and like shining them up, you know. It was just like, I'm glad I went. I
Yeah.
couldn't stay till like for the after thing though. I was just like, I'll stay for this part and then I'll head home.
Yeah. Dusty. Okay, so you're on the road. You leave you leave home, join WWE. That's like one hardship enough of
Yeah.
like being a young kid doing that thing. Then you're like called up to the main roster, win the title, have that monumental moment that we know, winning that title on like your debut with AJ Lee. Pressure is on. Everyone knows you've pretty much been anointed like the next star. What's
Dude.
that like being in that position of being like still
That's a lot of pressure
21?
too. Yeah,
21?
21. And I had the NXT Women's Championship at the time. So
first
I had,
NXT Women's
yeah,
Champion.
first ever.
Yeah.
Which is like super cool to, because with the NXT thing, I wasn't even supposed to be doing the match, right? So I just had this surgery. I had a dermoid cyst removed.
Yeah.
Right, and I have this big scar across my, you know,
Me too.
my gimmick now.
From my baby.
Yeah, mine's not from a baby. Mine's from a demon child that was attached to my ovary. It had hair and everything. It was the weirdest shit
It
too. I'm
did?
like, what in the is this alien?
I've seen
dermoid
those.
cyst.
I've heard of this.
So you have
can
them
get,
at
like
birth.
teeth and shit,
Yeah.
right?
You get them at birth, and I didn't know that, and then it just like grew over time, and it was 10 centimeters by 6. I think I went there because I found out I had scoliosis in my back because of Rob the Trainer. I didn't even know I had scoliosis, right? So I went there, and then I had like this whole like full body X-ray, you know, whatever. And then they saw like this mass, and I was just like, what the is that?
Yeah.
So then I go to like, you know, my gyno or whatever, and they're just like, oh, that's the dermoid cyst. So I had it removed, and then I had to have like a couple of weeks out of the ring. And I remember being like, oh my gosh, the pay-per-view's coming up. And it was the first ever pay-per-view to ever hit the WWE network.
Yep.
We were the first women to be shown on there. And I was like, oh, well, I might not be able to do this, you know. And then literally on the day of the pay-per-view, like, Hunter was just like, do you think you're ready to have a match right now? And I'm like, yeah, dude. And he was
Let's
just like,
go.
he was like, I need to see you roll around and stuff like that. Like, we have to be safe, you know. And so I was doing my thing, and then the doctor came out, and they were just like, all right, you're good to go. And I was like, whew, thank God. So I'm like, I get to have this match. And then, you know, getting to be the champ at the same time was insane.
Huge.
So you're just like, big moves, right? And then doing the Divas Championship, dude, I was just like, because I already got told the day before. Everyone knows the story about Dwayne telling me.
Yeah.
And then getting to, you know, raw, and it was intimidating, especially back then. The locker room was way more intimidating because it was way more, I feel like, cutthroat back then too.
Yes,
like,
it definitely was.
Yeah, everyone was super nice to me, of course, but it was just
there was more generations almost as well, where it was like there was Vicky and Tamina, and then there's like AJ, Celeste, the twins, obviously,
Rosa, Foxy.
Yeah,
it was just like that generation of like they've been through shit too.
Yes.
You know, they probably went through a lot more shit. So they were just like, you know, a little bit more guarded, you know. But they were all still super nice to me, for sure. But it was just, like, intimidating to go up there because I'm this new girl, you know, that they all just did this match prior on WrestleMania where they all couldn't beat AJ. So it was a little unfair that this girl's coming up and just doing it in, like, a couple of minutes. So I totally get it. But it was, like, it was still... It was intimidating and scary, and I'm like, trust me, I'm in this position. Like, I'm never going to say no to it.
Yeah,
I'd never be like, no, I don't want this championship.
Not my time yet.
Yeah. So I was just like, I just went with it, and AJ really was really sweet to me.
Yeah.
Like she wanted to help me out in everything, promos, and like I didn't know whether I should go sit in the makeup chair because of like etiquette, you know. And I'm like,
the chaos of the makeup chair. Good God.
But luckily, it's not like that now.
No, it's not like that now.
But the makeup chair back in the day, oh my God! If it depended like the hierarchy of who gets to be in the makeup chair first, and that's just like down from like again generations of just how it was. Again, not the same now. But AJ was like, no, sit there. And Jan was the one who was the head makeup artist too, and I was about to sit in her chair, which she would make our makeup look like Sally Jesse Raphael, dude. It was like early 90s. I was just like, you girls are like fighting over this thing.
Oh my God, I was just like peed a little laughing at that.
I'm just like, why is this woman causing so much anarchy, right? So I was just like, all right. And then like she didn't even brush out my curls, and I was like, okay, we're just gonna do this, all right, whatever. I'm like, I don't know how to do hair and makeup, so this is the best it's gonna get, I guess. So like, I remember getting it done and then just being like, all right. And then I'm nervous because I haven't done this promo, and then Vince wants me to be more timid, and I'm like, that's not the character I was doing in NXT.
Right.
But who told me? I think it was maybe Road Dogg or something like that. He was like, he wants you to be like that now, but you can slowly change it.
Sure.
Don't worry. You know. So I was just like, you're right. And then just doing the whole championship, coming back, and like people, like the girls were there to hug me, which was like super sweet. I was like, oh shit, like they're here to, you know.
I was just reminiscing about that because I was doing the stuff for. Did we know that you're doing the documentary?
No, but we can say it.
Okay. For like the A&E documentary, so we were just like reminiscing about that when I was talking about it. I was like, man, I can so remember that moment in the building. Every time we would do New Orleans, I would think of being there and doing that interview with you right after. Like,
oh yeah,
that was crazy. Everyone's crying.
You have to like work straight away, dude. Like as soon as you get backstage, like, all right, you need to go take pictures, and you need to do interviews, you need to do this. You know?
Yeah.
So, and I'm like, all right. And then like I walk back and I just hear Randy being like, you beat her with a leg sweep or something like that. And I was like, yeah, I know the move kind of like wasn't the perfect, you know, it wasn't nailed perfectly, but that's why I kind of stopped using that move. It was because
Randy was like, what's up with the leg sweep?
Well, no, because it wasn't taken perfectly. And like with that, and it wasn't just him who said it. I just remember that because it's the first thing he said when I come back, and we were like laughing about it. But people were like tweeting at me about it. Like, did she just beat Adrian with a leg sweep? With that move, it has to be both of us figuring it out.
Right.
You know what I mean? Where like with all the other moves I was doing, I can just do it myself and it's gonna look good. Unless I do the rampage and for some reason they just want to roll over. That used to bother me so much. I'm like, how are you over there? Like, you're taking a DDT. Like, but that was the only thing that used to bother me was like the rollover. But I would just tighten their head a little bit and like,
you're staying there.
Yeah,
stay
exactly.
here.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the reason why I got rid of it. People always ask me why, and I was just like, because I can't execute it perfectly if it's not just me.
It's not the right time. Okay, so spotlight is on you. Obviously, everything is great. Everyone in the company knows this is the star. We're putting the rocket on this chick's back, and this is the thing that we're doing. Great, great, great. Then you start. How long did it take until like party mode really started to kind of kick in for you?
Okay, yeah. So I would say like within a year of that, actually, because like I hadn't really like got a lot of friends still at that point in Florida, and then you know. I move into like this other apartment, and then there's like a neighbor, Michelle, who I started talking to, and then she introduced me to friends, you know, And then I get introduced to like, then I start making more friends in like FCW. There's more girls that are coming in and they're just like, we're going to go out. So I was like, okay, I'll go out with you, you know. And then you just make more friends and more friends. And then like eventually like, you know, I had like this ex-boyfriend that I ended up becoming friends with his friends. And then I ended up being friends with him after, you know, that relationship. And so like, it just like kind of started the ball rolling like right there, dude. Like once you just start meeting people and it's just the wrong group of people too. It's always like that. But I never really had a childhood or a teenagehood because like I was constantly wrestling and trying to get to WWE and I wasn't partying or anything like that. And also like the drinking age in England is 18 and I just turned 18 and then was just moving to a different country anyway. So yeah, I say I didn't drink. I was drinking in England at 14, dude. But this is being real here. They do not give a
Yeah.
So
definitely. I hear you.
It's like Canada, too.
Yeah. Oh, I would. Yeah, drinking like Mike's Hard Lemonades up at my cottage, making like a Kahlua and whatever, like a Caesar.
We were the shit, dude.
Yeah.
For real.
Oh yeah.
We're getting a good old cider down the park.
God, I love a cider.
Not the cider we used to drink. It was like battery acid. But yeah, like so this drinking started there, and then my friends, like the wrong friends, were just like we started hanging around with like this guy that kind of like dealt coke and shit like that too. Yeah. And so we constantly have some on him. Yeah. And so like when we're playing, at first it was just like, oh, I just want to sober up so I can keep drinking. You know what I mean? So you take like a bump and a bump here and stuff like that. And I would get so paranoid. I remember this one time, dude, there was just like a bunch of us and there was just coke on the table and I was just like, I didn't know this one girl and I was so paranoid because I didn't want anyone to take pictures of me and stuff like that. And I'm just like, and I was saying to like my friend Joey, because Joey and Raquel, they're my friends, right? They're part of the documentary too. And they were the ones that was always trying to deter me away from that and stuff like that. And I was like, you leave me the alone. But, and Joey would do it with me sometimes. Joey, don't act like you're an angel, right?
Joey, the buzz is coming. You're going under it, babe.
Joey. He's the reason I got these tattoos. You, Joey. I love you, but you. This is a mistake. But yeah, we like. I just remember being like super paranoid and looking at this girl, and I'm just like, who the fuck is this girl? Who the fuck is this girl? And I'm like, I just remember my eyes being really wide, and like I was constantly chewing my lips and stuff like that, and I was sweating, and I'm just like, no, this girl's got to go. This girl's got to go like that. And I was just like losing it. So this poor girl, who was just like chilling, doesn't know who the I am. She's just like, I'm like, what? Like, I'm just like, she come up from like Fort Lauderdale or something like that. Like someone's girlfriend. And I was like, she needs to get the home. So she ends up getting the boot so I can continue doing my drugs, you know. And then you get in like a relationship with not, you know, like the best influence of all time and just like not the healthiest situation to be in.
Yeah.
And then they're addicted to cocaine too. So it was just like a whole spiral, dude. I can't imagine now. It's fucking
Were you like
gross.
aware of the spiral that you were in when it was happening? Not at all.
No, not at all. Because I just thought like I was having a good time and I was partying. I deserved to have a good time. Yeah. Like even on the road, like I would party. Well, I would ask you to go for drinks and shit like that, you know. But I would constantly want to go out. Yeah. Like, and then as soon as I got home, I would want to go out and party because I just felt like I was working all the time. And that I deserved to have a good time. Because we worked a lot. I remember being so exhausted, I was falling asleep in the makeup chair and they were like holding my head up, you know, because I was worked a lot. So anytime I could, I was like, I need to go get a drink. I need to go do this. So, and then, you know, me and Foxy too, like she had her drinking issues and stuff like that. And me and her together isn't like the best, you know, I'm glad she's sober now though.
Totally,
you know,
totally.
Like, it's awesome when you can do that. And, because it's a struggle.
Certainly.
It's a really big struggle to like, stop doing it. But but yeah, like we would constantly go out and then we end up in TMZ because we got in this bar fight. It was the whole
God, I forgot about that. I mean, you were kind of in the news a lot with things like that.
It was awful. It was just like I just thought at the time, just like, you know, like, and I'm like, that's not cool, dude. Like I thought I was just living like, you know, I'm like the rock star of WWE. You know, like I felt cool, but like it's not cool at all. It is not cool, and I'm so embarrassed by it. Like I'll look back on Total Divas, dude. And I'm like, I wish I didn't do half the stuff I did on Total Divas. Like, I wish I didn't like party as much. I wish I didn't do, but you know.
That was that time though. It really was that, and also like, in that moment, you're like booked and busy with all the things with WWE. Then you're like this reality television star. You've got cameras on you all the time. Like no one's telling you no.
Yeah.
Because they want the good footage, they want it to be entertaining, they want all those things.
Oh,
but also
Divas would,
everyone's trying to keep you
full
happy.
of alcohol too, dude.
Oh my God, here's some champagne. Who wants some champagne?
Yeah, get some more to the pull Paige and have a drink and stuff like that. Like, yeah. And like I would have a whiskey, dude, because like it would just be a splash of Coke, you know?
You and that whiskey.
Dude, oh my God, absolute nightmare. But
so what, like, from a work standpoint, how is your work starting to suffer from all that stuff?
So I was getting lazier in the ring, I felt like, because I was constantly just like tired, and like I just felt like the storylines I was in wasn't really going anywhere anyway, and then you'd be put on just like main event or something like that. So I just like, and I remember them pulling me aside at one point, and they were just like, you're not being you. You need to step it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you're not showing me what you can do out there. You're just doing the same thing. And I was doing the same
You started to
matches.
disengage a lot too. Like you could see that you're a very social person in those times that I'm like, oh, what's happening right now? You were like not that.
Yeah, I was just like, I wasn't cool to be around, you know what I mean? Like, you're just like, you have a good time, and then like, I don't know, just me, like, outside of drinking and stuff like that. Yeah. At that time, I wasn't fun to be around. Yeah. Like, and is what it is. But yeah, I still, back then I didn't realize, I just thought, they're just being like hard on me for no reason, you know what I mean?
Right,
I was just like, I couldn't like.
Everyone lighten up.
Blame myself for a second to be like, Raya, like, chill out for a second. I'm just like, I just don't get it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, this is crazy. Like, whatever, you know?
And so what is the timeline of you being in that kind of spiral and then all the videos and photos come out?
Yeah. I think it was 2016 or 2015 the videos came out.
Where were you when you realized that happened?
I was in San Antonio.
Okay.
And it was just the most awful moment of my life.
Did someone text you first, or you like saw it? Like what happened?
No, so the person that I was with at the time showed me a picture on Twitter, and then I was just like, oh my God. And I like literally was just like, oh, and I was like, is that real? Like I couldn't believe it was real at first, because I was like 19, dude, like, you know.
Yeah.
And I was like completely mortified, and I ran out the house. I like ran, and I just kept running, dude. And I remember getting to like
that makes me like, it's so sad. It's like, it's scary. You're terrified,
dude. Awful. And I remember I was like inside a bush outside of Walmart, and I'll always remember this. I was literally just sitting in this bush, because I was just like, if people recognize me, they're gonna know. And I'm just like, I never wish that upon anyone, because that's the most vulnerable part of you, is just like on the internet. And I was like, I felt so stupid to have trusted this person, you know what I mean, at the time. Like, I felt like, oh my God, like, I mean, I've never done it since. Like, that was a lesson I learned. Sure. But like, and I'll never be catch dead doing anything like that again. But like, I felt so stupid, and I felt so embarrassed, and I was already like a cokehead at this time, and loved to drink and shit like that. So I was like feeling like, and that really got me at rock bottom, where I just like I didn't want to be alive anymore, dude. It was awful. I just was so sad. And I remember being like, if my dad is disappointed with me, I don't think I could be here anymore. Mm-hmm. It got to that point. And I was like inside this bush, and I just like remember being like, okay, I'm going to try and call my dad right now. And like, I was just like crying my eyes out, and I was like, I'm so sorry. I was just like, I'm so sorry. And then my dad was like, what are you sorry for? Yeah. And I was just like, I don't know. I just don't want to disappoint you. Who's just like, are you kidding me? He was just like, that shit made Kim Kardashian famous, and he tried to like make a joke. And I was like, what? And he was just like, who cares? You had sex. Everyone's done it. Unfortunately, you're just in the public eye, right? Yeah. So he was just like, it is what it is. He was just like, you gotta suck it up. It's gonna hurt for a little bit. People are gonna make fun of you forever. Yeah. He was like, but I just want you to know that I'm still proud of you, and I'm not disappointed, right? So he instantly changed, you know, the way I was feeling, because I was very down, dude. Like it was bad. Like I was like ready to end it all. Like it was just the most mortifying experience. Then I called my brother Roy, who was kind of like a second dad to me too, and they all kind of had the same reaction. So I'm like, okay, well, if my family are okay with me, like I'll be okay, right? And then like, you know, I was bullied relentlessly on the fucking internet. Like I just like they still to this day do it. But at this point, you're just like, are you still making jokes about it, dude? You're a fucking loser. Guys, at this point, you're a creep. Dude.
Yeah,
like it's
go find a new one. Get out of here.
Right. And I'm just like, people aren't laughing with you anymore. They're laughing like at you. You know what I mean? And then I was like, WWE called me too. I spoke on the phone with Mark Carano was like, I'm going to lose my fucking job. Like, this is it too. And then they called me and they were just like, listen, they were like, it's not your fault.
Yeah.
It's not your fault. And like, you know, and we're just, that's why I will never talk shit about them. At least publicly, you know what I mean? I never talk shit
But in
about
the group chat.
Yeah. In the group chat, you're in trouble. But yeah, like, they were just so supportive and they were just like, we'll get through it and like, we'll try and get as much off the internet as possible, which as soon as it's on there, there's no way you can get it off. Like, people have screenshot it, screen recorded it.
It spreads like wildfire,
It's everywhere. The only thing I don't like about it, and it's like annoying that I'm even like, I'm even going to bring it up, but I hate that they send it to my family all the time to get at them.
Yeah.
That's what they'll do at this point. Even to my boyfriend, like he'll get
Yeah.
it sent to him because there's just fans that just don't want to see me or him or whatever happy or, you know, and they'll send it to anyone that's close to me being like, this is your girlfriend or this is your daughter and shit like that.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, who cares? Do what you're virgin, bro. Like, it happens.
Get out of here.
Yeah. But, so at this point, I'm just like, get the over it. But yeah, at that point, it was not like that. And I got bullied relentlessly and it was just awful. And then the bullying was started to getting me be crazy to the point, you know, I started like, I was cutting myself. Dude, I never thought I'd be a cutter, right? But I did. And it's awful. And I wish I hadn't done it because it's not fun. It's not.
That was just because you were like depressed and like needed.
It's weird how you feel. I was
like,
like, I don't understand how people can do that, right?
Yeah.
But like once you get to that point, like nothing, like that, you're just not thinking clearly at all.
I think there was also just like all of the layers that we just spoke about too.
Yeah.
That it's like all of those things
and
leading up to that.
And then since I was at rock bottom too, talking about rock bottom, like the movie the production was gonna get put on hold because they just didn't know what the was gonna happen to me. They thought I was like gonna spiral so much I was gonna die, dude.
Yeah.
And luckily I just like kind of woke up one day because it's really weird and quick how this happens, you know. But like I was in the grocery store and I was getting more liquor, you know. This little girl comes running up to me and just being like, Paige, oh my God, it's Paige, you know. And then I was just like, hey, and I looked just awful. But she didn't think I looked awful. She just think I was this Wonder Woman that she saw on TV that she doesn't have any idea what's happening to the internet because back then TikTok wasn't around, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like I'm sure if TikTok was around then there'd be numerous viral videos on me back then. But yeah, she just looked at me like I was this like just superhuman dude, and I just remember feeling like I was letting her down and I was letting myself down because I was just like, I need to tell that story where you can overcome dumb shit like this.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it just like, she motivated me. And I just like, I remember her mom looking at me like I looked like just awful. And she was just like, even the mom was just like, maybe we shouldn't get a picture, but like, thank you so much, you know, and just like kind of like led her away. But
yeah,
I remember just being like, all right, it was literally like a movie. You're just like, I just can't do this anymore. And then, you know, my friend Matt, actually, who's here right now, he kind of like helped me
shout out to Matt,
get out of San Antonio too, and just kind of like, you know, get my shit together, and I ended up moving in with Joe and Raquel. Like, I didn't even have a house, you know.
You moved back to, was that in Orlando?
Florida,
you went back to
Orlando.
Yeah.
And WWE would just like, come back here.
Well, that was definitely a big thing too. Like I remember, because you obviously were not on the road at that time, and just having conversations with our friends. Like me and Skinny Nikki would just check in, be like, "Have you talked to her? Have you seen her? What's going on?"
Oh, Nikki,
like,
who was just texting me a couple of days ago.
Love Skinny Nikki, one of my favorite human beings.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of like talk of like, is she okay? What's going on? When's she gonna come back? Just people like worried and concerned about what you were gonna do, and trying to get you in a better situation.
Yeah, dude, they really tried. They even brought me out to Connecticut at one point just to be like, do you need help? Like, is there something? And I was like, no, I'm good. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. I remember going to like one show, and it was in Tampa again too.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I was at my skinniest.
Yes.
I just looked awful.
Yeah.
And I remember going to the trainer, and they were just like, all right, like, push up against the wall like this so they can see like my neck and stuff like that. But they were just like, you look so frail. Like, why are you so skinny? You know, and they were like really concerned about me then. Because I got really small.
Yeah.
I was like 115 pounds or whatever.
Woo!
And no, I ended up like going up to 155 when I started like coming back, because I just wanted to eat McDonald's and just eat whatever I wanted, you know.
Yeah.
I wasn't eating a lot with all that cocaine in my system, you know. So, but yeah, I got really, really small. And for my height, that's really small too.
Yeah,
like,
you're tall.
Yeah, like,
deceivingly tall.
Yeah. I'm 5'8".
Yeah, she's
5'8".
right.
So, and then these bad boys too. I hope I don't have anything on the bottom of my shoe, but So they were like, that's when they flew me into Connecticut after they saw me and was just like, do you need help? And I was like, I'm good. And then I called them, and I remember calling Mark, and I was just like, okay, like I just want to come back. Like I want to go to the Performance Center and stuff like that. And he was like, you got it. And they booked my flight and stuff like that. And I ended up flying back, moving in with my friends, and then going to the Performance Center. And everyone who saw me was just like, oh my God, like you're alive. And they would give me like the biggest hugs and stuff like that. And then, dude, when I came up the first time, I remember seeing Mark first and then you. But I couldn't even come inside. My whole body was shaking, right? Because I had so much anxiety, and I just was just like, I'm so embarrassed because of these tapes, and then because I made a fool of myself with the drugs and being on the internet, you know. It was just awful, and I just thought everyone was gonna hate me. It was dude, my whole body, I just will not forget it. Like
I remember that too. I remember us talking about it because you were. I think you were like. We're getting ready to do a promo or something, right? Or
well, the first day they didn't do anything. They just wanted to see how I was that first day. So I was like freaking out, shaking. Mark came outside and met me, bless his heart, and then kind of like walked me through. And then he's like trying to calm me down. Like he has his arm around me being like, it's going to be okay. Like you're fine. Like no one here hates you. Like people are just happy that you're alive, right? And I'm like, okay. And I'm like having like this freaking meltdown. And then I get to like the locker room and everyone's a sweetheart, of course, you know, and then like you were there with like I remember us taking like an Instagram video, you know, and
it was in Atlanta, wasn't it?
Yeah, Atlanta, and we were just having like so much fun. And then like I walked up to like Hunter, and he just gave me this huge hug, and he was just like, I just thought you were gonna die. Walk up to Stephanie gives me a big hug, says the same thing. Then I get to Vince, and then he like looks at me for a second, and then he just like, come here, and he gives me a big hug, and he was just like, I just thought you were gonna die. They all had like the same thing to say. God. And they were just happy that I was alive, and they were just like, this is your home, you know, you grew up here, you know, we want you to stay here.
Okay, so you get back, you're back in the groove. Everyone obviously is welcoming you with open arms. Everyone's so happy to see you. Fans, even though there's the shitheads that obviously still send photos and people that want to like laugh or whatever, fans were very happy to see you be back in the ring and like be back in like that WWE environment. I mean, we don't really have time to get into like neck stuff. And I think we talked about your neck last time, right? What is your status now? Oh. How's the bod feeling? Because I feel like I see you teasing sometimes of like...
No, because I feel fantastic. Yeah. No, I really do feel fantastic. I still have like that mental block, like, oh my God, if I was getting a ring, what if, you know? Yeah. But if I was to have to be in the ring, it would be for a really big moment, to wrestle. Yes. Like I'll do like promos here and there for big companies, you know what I mean? But like to like actually wrestle, like it would have to be like a really big moment. I would love to face Sasha again, for real. Yeah. Because like, I mean, it ended like the way. Is
she still a free agent, by the way? What's going on there?
No, I feel like Hunter's gonna get.
I think so too.
I feel like now Hunter's took over, everyone's gonna be like, I'm ready to come home.
Just kidding. How are you guys doing? Hi. Yeah. Good to see you.
So, I mean, SummerSlam was fantastic.
It was great. Yeah.
It was really like no one's really been 100% happy with the pay-per-view before. Yeah. I mean, I guess they were a little disappointed with Liv's finish or something like that. But I'm like, who cares? She retained.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? I was like, I'm just happy that they're giving her a run.
And against Ronda too, where it's like Ronda, that I mean, alone you have is like a big moment because you know it's like that Ronda push, Ronda. It's cool to see Liv.
You have to win like that with Ronda. You know what I mean? Because they have to keep her strong and stuff like that. And then you have to like, you know. It's hard to just win clean against Ronda after she's known as the baddest woman on the friggin' planet. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I'm just happy that they're giving her a run because she deserves it, dude. She's worked really hard.
So wrestling is obviously still a thing that is making your heart go pitter-patter to some degree.
Always, dude.
Yeah. You're a wrestler through and through.
Always. I'm like Ric Flair. I'm going to have a ton of retirement matches.
Hell yes.
Ric Flair, I'm going to be your age and be like, my last one, guys, I promise.
I mean, people would just like, if, you know, given the circumstances and everything, like, it would just be such a cool moment.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it'd be really special. We'll see though.
Yeah, we'll see. So what is like the next thing right now? I know we've got to like wrap up. You are a busy woman. You've got a million things to do, and I could honestly carry this interview on forever.
Get in line, right?
So many things we've not even talked about.
You were more important though. This whole time I'm just like, let me just work around Renee's podcast.
Oh, I know. I was like at the WWE thing and they're like, when's your podcast? We're like scheduling around you. I was like,
I'm like, sorry, hon. Like you let me go. You know what I mean? I'm the one that got away.
Actually, I mean, yes, two things. One, let's just talk really quick about where you are now in terms of like mental health, being in a healthy relationship?
Oh,
you're not, you're like clean,
I used to work Ronnie all day. I'm so annoying like that. I just like, I love my boyfriend. He's really good to me though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like it's good to have someone that is super supportive of everything I do, wants me to be better. Like he got me to stop like smoking cigarettes when we first started dating. I was smoking
forgot
cigarettes.
you used to smoke.
I know, it's awful, dude.
Yeah.
Matt remembers, dude. Awful. And then I used to vape a lot too. That was like my pacifier. I used to have it like under my pillow at night, and I'd wake up and be like, put it back under there. It was so gross, dude. I don't know how I did it. I look back and I'm so embarrassed. So like, he was like, we should start being plant-based, like really take care of ourselves. And like, he's always got this, well, Lizzie knows too, because Lizzie, like, was our assistant for a really long time as well, and you're friends with him. But like she would constantly have to bring like veggies because he wanted to like try these new juices. And then like he would like buy this random like Japanese oil that he said is good for blood pressure, which he was just like, maybe we should give this out as like a party gift. I'm like, I don't know if anyone wants.
I would love that. Actually,
you would love
I'd be
it.
Like, wait, what do we have?
Yeah, you would love it, but
I
like someone that
would.
isn't like a chef or something, they'd be like, all right, cool. You
Yeah.
know? But he's. And then, also, so since my surgeries, I have trouble swallowing food. Like, it's an issue. Like,
Really?
I choke. Yeah, is that okay? Whatever, right?
It's bad. It's
yeah.
atmosphere sound. We'll take it.
I choke a lot. It's an issue. Like, every time I eat, especially if it's a little bit drier than usual, like, I go into cardiac arrest. It's really bad.
Jeez, keep her away from the dry chicken in a pool.
Dude.
She's going down, y'all.
Yeah, for real. I can't be near a pool either because he thinks I'm going to. He thinks because I can't swim that well, if I fall in and drown, he's going to be framed for my murder. That's what he thinks, right? So another thing, Zach was there for so Ronnie, sorry, Zach's my makeup guy too, he's here. But we have a whole crew, a whole entourage.
We have a whole crew here, guys.
So Ronnie had like this package coming to the house, and I'm like, what the is this? And he was like, oh, you can open it. So I open it. I'm like, what in the It's like this big tube with like a face thing on it and like a pump, and I'm just like, what the is this like a boob pump? Like what do we need this for? Like, is it a pump? Like, you don't need that, I was like, what? And then he was just like, oh, it's a D choker. I was like, a D choker? So he was just like, yeah, I'm scared that if you're like chewing on food and like I'm not there, or like I can't, perform the Heimlich, like I can just be like this and just suck it out your throat.
Why don't all houses have one of those?
Dude, but the funny thing is that I was choking one day and he couldn't find the D-choker anywhere.
Oh, great.
And I was literally like on my knees, and Zach is just laughing, like looking behind candles. And I'm just like, oh, no, don't worry. I'm just dying over here. And Ronnie's just like, where's the D-choker? And I'm like,
oh my God.
And then it like finally passes. They're like, I'm good, but thank you for the help with the D-choker, by the way. Like, I'm like, of course, the irony of it, buys it, can't find it while I'm choking. Yeah.
Classy.
But it's good to have a man that's really protective like that.
Yes.
Like, he's like, we get to the end of our street, it like gets to like a busy road or whatever. And if you turn left, like you can't really see oncoming traffic. And he was like, promise me, you'll never turn left in the car, And then I was like, imagine if I do. I'm like, put on my gravestone, she turned left.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I was like, because he just gets so freaked out. He's just like, he's a hypochondriac though as well.
Clearly.
He's a huge hypochondriac. So he worries about his health a lot, but he also worries about my health.
Mm-hmm.
So any little thing, remember that, did I show you I had like a little blood blister here before?
We talked about it. Yeah, I think you showed me maybe.
Oh man. He got me convinced I had cancer, right?
Oh my God.
Dude, we were looking up things and I'm like, we shouldn't Google this. And he was just like, it looks just like it. Dude, and it was just, I wouldn't go away for months. And
we did talk about that.
It was like huge, and it was like, it kept
Yes.
popping at night and it was bloody. I still have like a little scar from it.
God.
It was awful, dude. I was really scared, and I thought it was that too. And then I get to like the doctor and like, oh, you're fine, don't worry about it. I was like, what the is it? They're like, nothing, I'll just go away. It's just like being in the sun too much.
Oh.
And then you pick at something.
Oh,
'Cause
yeah,
I'm a picker. I'm a pimple picker, right? And they said it was the trauma, and so like, and it just grew into this big bubble. It was weird, dude. I was like, oh my God, I'm traumatized.
Going down.
Now. This is how I die from pimple popping.
Actually, I have like one of those like little like red mole things here. My daughter always goes,
she's just like,
Molly.
she's like, what is that thing? That is
Tries
not
to pick
cute.
it off all the time. It's
She's like,
horrible.
I'll get the
No,
skill
it's
for you.
so bad. Okay, you have other things to do.
That's it, yeah.
I have a million other things that I could have asked you about because I feel like we still raise the surface.
This is why we need a show together, Renee.
This is why we need a show together.
Not just talking about me, as much as I love to talk about me. I'm just saying the dynamics there.
Got it.
Shit.
The Joan Jett to my Blondie.
Yeah.
That's our deal.
Yeah.
I'm just so happy to see where you're at, to see how far you've
dude.
come, and to like see those ups and those downs, and like where you're at now. You're about to turn 30, just around the corner, and like everything just seems like
it's falling into place.
It's falling into place the way that it's supposed to, and I can't wait to see what like that next thing is going to be for you.
Me too, man. I'm scared. Dude, I'm aggressive with this microphone. I am so sorry. You guys keep looking at me like,
stop knocking it over.
You know, like.
Well, I will, we'll talk anyways, because we are constantly on the text. Shit talking about everybody.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm so happy to see you
Me
looking
too.
great, doing your thing, being awesome, and like I'm actually like pumped for you. You've been off TV from WWE for a long time, kind of hanging in that like purgatory, not sure what's happening, am I coming or going? And now you can just go do your shit. You can just like be free, go do your shit, and like fucking crush it.
Yeah, the freaking shackles are off, dude.
Yeah,
that's how it always is. Like as soon as you're free from WWE, you're like, oh my god, I have so much room to move now.
Totally.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But that's the intimidating part too. You're just like,
how deep is this water?
Yeah, like, are people gonna like me?
I know.
Like, I like being a big fish in a small pond kind of thing. You know what I mean?
I know.
Yeah.
God, do I have to do that again?
Yeah,
I gotta like grow my fish status
the
again.
Zoom calls.
Fuck.
The Zoom calls. There's
Why
so
does Zoom
many
not
of
have
you.
a filter on it yet? By the way, can we add a filter?
Oh no, you
to
can.
Zoom?
You can do it.
What?
Just download Snap filters. Oh.
God.
I will not let them see my true form on Zoom. Not yet. Not yet.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no.
Give me that. I'm like, oh, I need that. Okay.
Yeah, so just download Snapcam is what it's called. Like it's not, you don't have to like sign into your like Snapchat or anything like that. It's literally just Snapcam, and it has all the filters and stuff. I use it for my Twitch and everything.
Brilliant.
Oh yeah.
Guys, the more you know.
Yeah, you got it.
The more you know. Well, thanks for coming out and being on my show and making it a priority while you're out here.
I know, and we're sitting in
busy, baby.
Nashville, which is a sweat fest, dude.
We're dying of heat. There's,
dude, I was wearing a leather jacket.
Dropping in on us. My daughter's like
causing anarchy out there. She's having a little mosh pit upstairs.
Well, on we go, guys. This has been The Sessions. This is Saraya. You know her, you love her. Follow the next journey, because it's happening right now. We're in it.
Yeah, dude.
Sweet.